When people talk about people with a warm heart or phrases similar to that, there's a physical quality that people almost miss, because we use it to describe a personality type being warm-hearted. Often warm-hearted and kind-hearted are synonymous, but we forget that we actually have that accompanying warm physical sensation in the body when we're feeling particularly kind-hearted, and that can really be tapped into when we're trying to practice and develop our capacity for kindness. And today, with the warmth of the room and even with our eyes closed, that really nice yellowy glow on our eyelids from the blinds on the window, we can really use that to develop that sensation. When we practice metta, we're practicing a way like a runner or a weightlifter practices. We do the same thing over and over, and that strengthens our muscles. If the runner runs a certain distance every morning, they get quicker and they develop an ability to run longer. When a weightlifter keeps going to the gym and lifting the weights, they get stronger. And in the same way, when we practice metta in the same way, we build that groove in our practice. And we're not looking to challenge ourselves in a way that we're trying to make kindness difficult. We're trying to develop our capacity to see how much kindness we can create within our mind and our bodies. So we practice in the same way. There's nothing special about the objects that we meditate on, but it's practicing in that same way that leads us to tapping into that emotion easier and on a deeper, more profound level. So we're going to enjoy the practice and develop our capacity in an enjoyable way. So we'll start with, like we always do, an object that is kind to us, close to us, something that we love unconditionally. It could be a real or imaginary, but something that immediately elicits that spontaneous love and compassion. So it could be puppies, kittens, babies, our own puppies, kittens or babies. It doesn't really matter, but something, an image in our head that immediately creates that reaction. So we'll just sit with that for a few minutes. once we're feeling very warm and full of love and gratitude, we can move on to another easy object. Could be our mother, or son, or daughter, or father, a partner, someone that we couldn't imagine life without. They might no longer be with us, but we can't imagine how our life would have been without them. As that feeling inside us grows, we can work with this metta sensation on the body level. We can feel it flow throughout our body. It may appear as a pulsing, radiating sensation, like a glowing sensation. It may be completely still, like this just warm presence, like a warm radiator, or it might pulse with the breath, with the heart, or of its own tempo. But we can investigate this warm sensation and breathe into it to encourage it to grow, and it can grow enormously. It can almost feel uncomfortable if we've never experienced such a strong sensation in the body. And if it is overwhelming, we can just return to the breath and let it rest before continuing our work. If, on the other hand, it's hard to draw up that sensation, we can again use the breath. We can visualize breathing in that kind energy, and we can try different ways to see what works. We can breathe it into our lungs, and as we're breathing out, we can feel that kindness flow through our body before drawing in. We can imagine breathing it in and storing it and growing it. We can imagine breathing it in and out, but always retaining a bit more. We can imagine us breathing in through the soles of our feet. And that sensation, just by drawing our attention to our feet, we can almost feel a warm tingling coming into our feet and up our legs. The mind is always bound to wander, and if it moves to restlessness, we can remind ourselves how quite often we crave to be sitting down quietly with nothing to do. If we're feeling sleepy, we can concentrate on the in-breath and remind ourselves that we can always nap later. We can always go to bed slightly earlier if we are truly tired. But for the next 15 minutes we can still stay awake, and inevitably when we finish meditating we're full of energy again, so we can recall that lived experience of temporary tiredness or restlessness while meditating, and it disappears as soon as we open our eyes, so we know it's just a mirage. We can, if we feel ready, we can move to an object that's fairly neutral to us. Could be the person who serves us in the supermarket. Could be the parking warden that we see when we're walking to work. Could be a familiar bus driver. We try and wish them that love and kindness that we have for our own close family members. Just because they're not close to us doesn't mean that they're not deserving of love and kindness. And if we can try and develop love and kindness for everyone, then the world will be a friendlier place, and we're contributing in that very small way, very small but very significant way, to the world being very slightly better. If we do feel that it's appropriate to challenge ourselves, we can think of someone that we struggle, we find difficult. Not too difficult, but someone that we're more likely to have a negative association than a positive. And what we'll try, we can try and extend that same love and kindness to that person who's just less than neutral. This isn't mandatory if we just want to just sit and enjoy and be present with that warm sensation and just stay with that warm sensation. That's equally just as beneficial. We need to trust ourselves with what's right, and sitting in that awareness in that warm, kind space is not only nourishing for us, but nourishing for the world around us. We're developing our disposition towards calmness and kindness. So for the last 5 minutes, we'll relax and sit in that awareness of kindness, of warmth. We can feel it flow throughout our body. If it's flowing, we can feel it pulsing. If it's pulsing, we can just feel like this warm radiator, just radiating kindness out. You may feel that your awareness extends beyond the body, or the body has disappeared and there's just this warm sensation. You're aware, you're alert, and you can feel it, but you can't feel the framework of the body, which is again equally valid. And whatever we're feeling, we'll just really try and enjoy where we are for those last few minutes. Just enjoy where we are. Ding, ding, ding. So I forgot to get my bell out, but yeah, ding, ding.